Welcome back, everybody. This is Prime Time Action Sports. We're back. We're here again, and we're actually going to tune into a new debate. As we talked about last episode, we were debating if the Cowboys are pretenders or contenders. After a week 6 loss in New York Jets, it's looking a little rough out there. Amari Cooper's banged up. Dak Prescott kind of struggling, offensive line troubles, all that kind of stuff. But if you want to get into that debate, please hit below. You can subscribe and watch our full debate. But today, Slater, we are going to be talking about the LA Rams. And after a hot start, defending their NFC Championship title, 3-0, they find themselves in a 3-game slump, which has never happened in the Sean McVay era. Slater, you want to kind of dive in on what is going on with the Rams?
Well, yeah, they're 3-3, but I think the one thing we can talk about right now that everyone is really interested in is going to be how they acquired Jalen Ramsey for 2 first-round picks and a future 4th-round pick.
Yeah, just yesterday.
Yeah, just yesterday, but they also traded 2 corners. They didn't trade 2 corners, They traded one, Marcus Peters. Obviously, he's a Pro Bowl corner who was looking like one of the best corners in the NFL in his first 2 seasons. He had 16 interceptions in those first 2 seasons. He made the Pro Bowl in those first 2 seasons. And then they had the perennial Pro Bowl corner, Aqib Talib, physical, long. He can run his mouth. He's snatching chains off of Matt Crabtree's neck.
Watch this. Talib reaches in.
Grabbed the goat chain.
Yeah.
And ripped it apart.
Crabtree is in disbelief. He's actually showing his teammates what he did.
What he did. So that was
Talk contrast to Steve Smith.
Patriots rush 5. Newton throws high. What a grab by Smith. First down Carolina at the 34 as he and Talib get started and go at it, and company comes to see what's going on.
I'm surprised it took this long.
And the 15-yard flag.
Tommy Hagler.
He's getting in battles, and he's one of the best corners, I think, in the game and of this era. He's not the best lockdown corner, but just his physicality and his presence and the way that he plays big receivers, physically wise, he's one of the best in the game. So
he's on IR.
He's on IR, yeah. So he's not there. They needed to make some moves. Their defense is ranked 26th right now in the NFL, which is you got Aaron Donald, who's he's going to be the highest paid defensive player in the NFL, and then you got guys like Dante Fowler on that line too. That should be Aaron Donald. He's good. He's been making some good plays this season. He had a really good game last week. Of course, they still lost, but losing 3 games straight, something needed to happen. And defensively, it definitely needed to happen because they gave up 55 points to the Buccaneers. And they're just not really looking good. 3-3, they're in a stacked division, and something needed to be done. And Sean McVay and the GM did it. They traded for Jalen Ramsey, arguably, like I said, one of the best corners in the NFL. So it's looking up somewhat in LA, but they got to step something up on defense. But I'm waiting to hear what you want to say and what we want to talk about and what his presence will do. So
Jalen Ramsey specifically, I just want to let you guys know what they traded for him. They traded a 2020 and 2021 first-round pick, as long as a 2021 4th-round pick. We know Jalen Ramsey was very unhappy the last couple of weeks with the sore back. Out of Jacksonville, he's the newest member of the LA Rams. I'm sure he's gonna love it. My question is though, you mentioned Ramsey. This is kind of like a tryout deal right now because they're gonna have to pay him. But when you pay a corner like that, he's gonna want top-notch money. He's gonna break the records of all kind of money that's ever been paid, topping Darrelle Revis, Nnamdi Asomugha, those kind of guys. He wants to top that. He wants to go off the books for not only maybe the best corner, but the best defensive player in NFL history, contract-wise. But this is kind of my question, too, because going into the 2020 season, you mentioned Aaron Donald, one of the best defensive players of our recent generation. I know he's not having the greatest season. He needs to get paid. Jared Goff's getting paid. Todd Gurley's already been paid. Cooks is getting paid. Woods is about to get paid. Higbee's been paid. That's their cap just right now going into 2020 for next season is going to combine for around $112 million worth. The cap next year is going to be around $200. Okay, so you're telling me that Ramsey's probably going to want top-notch money, and you're going to have less than probably $70 million to work with. How are you going to build a contract around that? So leading up to that is like kind of where do you think the Rams mindset is right now? Like it seems like they're in a win now mentality, which kind of seems rushed. But where do you think, as an analysis, where do you think their heads are at? I know it's hard to predict, but
yeah, like you said, there's a lot of guys that are due to get some big paychecks, but let's not forget about the coach got paid, he got extended, and let's not forget about their stadium that's getting built, that they're moving into. Let's not forget about that, and they got to pay for that as well. So right now, it's LA, like we said, the Lakers, it's win or go home. So right now, I feel like Sean McVay and the whole front office of the LA Rams, they're in win now. Obviously, they're trading 2 first-round picks, but it's not just on the defensive side of the ball. Jared Goff has got to step up. He's one of those guys to where he's getting paid and he's not really showing that he's worth it.
No, not at all.
Todd Gurley, he's definitely banged up. Something's wrong there. They just paid him, and they're not even using him. When you got a guy that's getting paid, he was the highest paid running back in the NFL of all time until Ezekiel Elliott obviously got paid for 2 days before the season opener, but. I mean, you got to use them. Obviously, something's wrong if you're not the guy's not playing. They're giving him 5 carries a game. They can't just throw the ball. Yeah, when the ball's in Jared Goff's hands, if they're in a playoff situation, playoffs come down to it. Usually, you're gonna have to have one clutch drive. And the one clutch drive against a solid defense and a solid team, Jared Goff isn't going to bring.
We haven't really seen it.
Jared Goff isn't. He's had a couple clutch drives before. We've seen it against Kansas City, but Kansas City isn't a top-notch defensive team.
Right.
And when it comes down to it, and especially in the NFC, when you got teams like the Chicago Bears are in there, you got teams like the San Francisco 49ers that can get after the quarterback, who just showed they gave up 7 points in the LA Coliseum.
Yeah.
So I don't see Jared Goff. I think a move needs to be made there, and they shouldn't have given him all that money right away. No. He's coming off a 3-point performance in the Super Bowl, an interception, no touchdowns. He was panicking the entire game, and I just don't think that he was worth the money right then and there. But it's the Rams organization; they can do what they want to do. But as of right now, they're in win now. So their second string cornerback, they got Troy Hill, and Troy Hill, he's a guy that was undrafted. He was signed with the Cincinnati Bengals in 2015. He got released. He got put back on the squad, released again, picked up by the Patriots, released again. Then he's on the Rams. He had his best season last year, but his career stats, he's 4th year in the NFL. He's 12 passes defended, 2 career INTs. The offensive line of the Rams, it's ranked 31st overall from Pro Football Focus. Andrew Whitworth, obviously their star offensive lineman, he's a little bit on the older side, and he's obviously kind of getting shredded by all these pass rushers. They traded their center, their left guard's hurt, so something's got to happen. And defensively, I think that's a big move, but Jalen Ramsey can't cover the whole field, and he sure as hell can't throw the ball for Jared Goff, so I don't...
It kind of brings back up to what we were talking about actually last year. I know we probably can't go all the way back, and a lot of viewers are kind of new right now. Compared back then, but we were saying you put the ball in Jared Goff's hands, he's gonna make mistakes, and I think that's the formula to beat the Rams.
Goff, can the Rams stay alive? They can. Another interception. Mukamara this time. 4 picks.
Well, they're taking shots down the field now. Blitz to the end zone, and it's intercepted at the 3-yard line. Gilmore.
You mentioned yourself, without getting Gurley the ball, giving him like less than 10 touches an entire game, there was no opportunity there. And yeah, he is banged up, but even when he was sitting out, they gave Malcolm Brown less than 10 carries too. So that formula that they're doing right now is the complete opposite formula that they did the Super Bowl run. So my question is also leading up to this too, if you look at, okay, so Jared Goff's making $134 million in his 4-year contract. Let's say this year, okay, maybe they make playoffs, bounce out first round. Next year, have Jared Goff's not playing. You got to think about, maybe we go back to rebuild mode by the time the new stadium's being built, You're going to be looking like the same Rams. Gurley might not even be in the league anymore if his knees give out.
Yeah, I mean, arthritis in your knee is definitely something to be worried about, and I think there's going to be some big money issues down the line. I don't
catch up.
Yeah, I mean, you can't keep all of them. You can't keep all those guys. You can't keep Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley. Those are all guys that, except for Jared Goff, that I think are worthy of being the highest paid in their position, and that being Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Todd Gurley.
Yeah, correct.
And you got stars like Brandon Cooks as well too that are getting paid.
Woods.
But something's got to change. But their offense last year, they averaged 33 points per game, and in the Super Bowl they put up 3 points. And then from there, it's kind of been, they started off 3-0, yeah, but from there, Todd Gurley's kind of banged up. He's not playing. Jared Goff isn't playing well. The offensive line is bad. The defense is still worse than ever. And they're in a stacked division too. So as far as it goes for me, I don't see them going anywhere in this year unless they turn something around right now. They can't go 3-4. They can't go 3-5. They're not going to be able to go on the road and beat good teams like San Francisco in San Francisco. They're not going to be able to beat the Saints in New Orleans with a healthy Drew Brees and a defense that's playing better now with Marshawn Lattimore and all those other guys in the secondary and their front seven, Cameron Jordan.
Playing for revenge.
They're playing for revenge. And then you got other teams too. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. The NFC, like Ryan said, is wide open, and I think this is the best we've seen the NFC look in a while, and we can't really say, okay, there's the team that I think is going to make it. It's pretty wide open. But the stats say for itself.
Yeah,
I mean, the Rams O-line 31st overall.
That's
Their
not
O-line's injured. Their second-string cornerback, he's not going to contribute that much besides Jalen Ramsey. And then, obviously, the money issues. And then their defense, 26th in points allowed per game. So
there's not many teams that make a playoff run with 31st ranked offensive line.
Yeah,
you keep your quarterback up to make a playoff push.
Like, of all the teams, I didn't see the Rams. I mean, we've seen the Rams push for a lot of... I thought it was going to be the Eagles. I thought it was going to be the Buccaneers or something like that. But the Rams, out of all teams, they don't need them. They don't need that. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, given all... I've said he's one of the best corners in the NFL, talent-wise. Right. He's one of the best. Physical, his football IQ is through the roof. But he's had some character issues before.
Yeah.
I think he's going to bring a different kind of charisma to LA. I think LA is going to embrace him more. But... I don't think you want to pay a guy that much money when you got all these other... It's either Gurley or him, really, realistically. I mean, you can't keep both of them. I think at the end of the day, if Gurley doesn't get healthy, they're going to keep Jalen Ramsey, and Todd Gurley's going to go. And then vice versa, it's going to be Gurley's going to stay if he gets healthy, and Ramsey's going to go because they can't. There's too much money to be paid there. I don't see it happening.
Right. I agree with you. And you mentioned like the 49ers. Like, who would have thought they'd be undefeated at this point? Mm-hmm. The Seahawks playing lights out right now. And, you know, the other team in the division, I can't even think of it off the top of my head. Why am I spacing? It's Rams, Seahawks.
Packers.
Packers? No, their division.
In their division.
The Rams, you got Rams,
yeah,
Niners,
it's the Rams,
Seahawks.
Niners, Seahawks.
It's Cardinals.
Yeah,
NFC West.
You're right.
I mean, you know, no one really thinks of them just because they're rookie. They're in the rebuild mode. But you look at these three teams, and you only can fit two wild cards. So the Rams are going to think, you know, we're 3-3. Technically, we're 0-0. They got to push right now if they want to make this run and defend their title host because, like you said, this stats that's inexcusable for an NFC defending team. We haven't seen someone have that big of a drop off. The Rams offense isn't looking like the Rams offense of old, and if they don't get this stuff together, you know, you're going to be looking at the 49ers taking your wild card spot, and who would have thought, you know? Like Richard Sherman said it best, don't doubt us, you know, root against us like you did in the beginning, doubt us, and everyone rode with the Rams being the title favorite. I think you and we might have, I can't remember, maybe we had Philly and New Orleans, but you're not going to get stuff done, and there's a lot more hungrier teams right now at the Rams, it looks like.
Yeah, and out of all the teams, too, I don't think trading for Jalen Ramsey is a dumb thing. I think it's a super smart thing because Jalen Ramsey's a one-in-a-generation type player at his position.
Correct.
But for the Rams to do it, I see it as a panic trade. I feel like in the front office they were getting worried, the coaches were getting worried, the players. I wouldn't say they're panicked, but I thought that was a panic trade and a desperate trade, in my opinion. So I don't like it on the Rams end as far as cap space goes and just the whole situation too. I mean, they're giving up a lot of value. They're giving away two first-round draft picks,
and they're not thinking about the future.
But it's not even worth it for the Jaguars either. I mean, how bad do you think the Rams are going to be where they're going to get value at that low of a pick in the first round? Because realistically, the Rams aren't going to be a top 10 pick.
No.
So, I mean, Jaguars...
The Jags front office had a lot to figure out to do. I don't know what Tom Coughlin was thinking, advising that kind of trade, but I think maybe they were just kind of ready to get rid of the toxic environment and just instead of having him just sit with a hurt back, just send him out there. It's someone else's problem, like an Antonio Brown situation. But it's not going to be probably as explosive, but it might kind of blow up in their face. The Rams keep losing. He gets burned on a couple routes against, let's say, Julio Jones burns him this weekend if he's eligible to play, or those kind of players. You know, you got Larry Fitzgerald, like just a random player that can burn him. He'll freak out, get suspended, start a fight, you know, something like that. So it's coming. Do you have any other topics you want to kind of explore this a little bit more, and then we're kind of wrapping up this debate?
I've said all I wanted to say. I feel like the stats speak for itself. Jalen
100%.
Ramsey, he's a great player. I think he's going to shine. He's going to help their defense, if anything, because they need help. And then Troy Hill, I mean, if they didn't trade for him, they'd have Troy Hill as their number one corner, and it's all Troy Hill. I read the stats, nothing against him, but he's not going to be that guy to shut down your number one wide receiver. He's not going to be the guy to make those plays, I think, when you need him.
Straight up question. This is all you got to say. Rams in the playoffs this year, yes or no?
Yes, I could see them making
You
the playoffs.
hesitated.
No, I see them making the playoffs just because
Is it a firm yes or a
No, I like Sean McVay. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to make the wild card, obviously, because you got the 49ers, and they're steamrolling ahead.
And the Seahawks.
It's a tough division, though, so you got the Seahawks, too, but I see them making a 6 seed.
Not a good time to be kind of slooping
It's
right
gonna
now.
be it's gonna be tight, though, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to 1 or 2 games, and like I said, I don't like Jared Goff in those clutch situations when you have the ball in his hands against a good team, say Seattle, and he needs to go down the field and put together a game-winning drive down by 4. I don't think Jared Goff's the guy to do it, personally. I think under pressure, and you got someone... See, there's like some people that when you're getting hit and you know that guys want to hit you and hurt you, there's some guys that get really nervous, and there's some guy that love it and they strive for it. Yeah, the guys like the Baker Mayfields, the Tom Bradys, the Peyton Mannings, they love that kind of stuff. The Phillip Rivers, they love it. I mean, I know Phillip Rivers isn't the clutchest guy, but Phillip Rivers don't get scared like that. He doesn't panic usually under pressure. He embraces it. I don't like what he's doing now, but he's not the kind of guy to cower away from anything like that. So so that's
the guy who's going to step into the throwing under pressure or kind of throw off his back.
Like the Mahomes, too. There's so many guys I would take. Russell Wilson, Mahomes, Andrew Luck, retired. I take him over Jared Goff. I take Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers. I take, there's so many. Jimmy Garoppolo. There's a lot of other quarterbacks I take right now with the game.
Garoppolo, wow, bold.
He's a clutch player, man. He's used to winning. He's groomed in a winning environment, so.
All right, sir. Well, we'll wrap this up. Everybody, thanks for getting on the debate. Leave a comment on Instagram and or YouTube. Get in on this debate. Let's hear what you think. Where are the Rams going after this Hollywood kind of trade to get Jalen Ramsey? Are they in win now mentality? Is it a smart move? Or are they just kind of panicking and they will not make the playoffs? Tune in on the debate. We'll be back in a quick sec.